So there's full patch notes today, I guess, which is relevant because we've been playing on the PTS for a bunch, and I want to watch this. Agni is getting... Wait, what? They're nerfing Agni? That's very confusing. Decreased taunt duration, protection, scaling threshold. I don't even understand what this part is. Chuck, you got a nerf. Cooldown nerf to his 1. Base damage nerf to his ult. Hades got a buff. Same thing. I don't know what this means. Increased health threshold for sun touch to trigger. It's the passive, right? Decreased base damage by 10. Dive bomb. Longer cooldowns at the beginning. Kali nerf. Base health. Base attack speed nerf. Neath shift. Increased strength scaling. Decreased intelligence scaling. Increased attack speed scaling. Decreased intelligence bonus. So they're shifting Neath into a strength ability god. That's what it seems like. Like they're definitely shifting towards strength being stronger.
I'm guessing this is a shift, so you think he's been doing okay, but needs some tweaks.
This will be...
They're trying to make alternator mod viable in Vulcan, which I don't think is going to work. Thermal mod got a nerf. Yo, this is an indirect buff to turret Vulcan. We're back. Taunt duration would go up if you had 150 prots. Now it goes up if you have 115. Oh, so you need less prots for a longer taunt duration.
I think overall it's a nerf.
Okay.
It's a shift in the sense that there is a
IQ?
one.
I didn't even know IQ'd.
Underwhelming, and so we're doing something
Whoops.
pretty extreme to try and see.
So we're nerfing Vulcan ults, but we're upping the max distance scaling. That's interesting. I feel like this is unnecessary. Vulcan's not safe enough to be nerfed. Whatever. Ancient Signet got 5 mana or 5 int and 50 mana. We knew that. Book of Thoth, mana conversion up 1% and increased evolutions up 1%. So that's why Book of Thoth feels so good right now on PTS. Divine Ruin got a buff. It's a 10% scaling buff on the passive proc and then a 5% cooldown, and it only triggers on gods, no longer on minions. Gem of Focus. Oh, I didn't see this. Gem of Focus has a 20 cooldown now. What? I didn't know that Tego Kage got a buff. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't know that. Tego Kage got 10 strength. Re-Ghost Riders got nerfed. We knew this already. This is a good nerf. Rune Forge got a buff. Oh, this might actually be decent now. 10 seconds off the base cooldown, the passive cooldown, plus a every time you CC somebody, it's lowered even more. Interesting. Soul Gem getting a buff. Needed. 20 int. Stack proc happens once per ability. Damage proc happens once per target. Decrease health per level. Increase base heal. I did not know they buffed Daybreak as well or changed it. Shift. On ability use, consume all stacks. His ability is 10% plus 10% strength and intelligence scaling per stack. Max 40 new. On non-healing ability use, consume all stacks. Gaining plus 13 strength or plus 16 intelligence for 8 seconds per stack. So it's a flat buff. Like you just get a flat buff. I don't know how I feel about this. So it's 64 bonus int if you heal 4 people and then use an ability and you get that buff for 8 seconds. This is different though. This wasn't a buff. So this was a damage proc before. Now it's just a stat buff. I think this is bad. Oh shit, yo, it's like they were listening. These are all things I've been talking about for the past 2 weeks. This is weird. This is very weird. Hold on. Mirrodin's cooldown is lower. I was just saying that. Someone of Death got 15 more int. We knew that. Oh, they did change. They buffed Typhons. Typhon spawn will now retreat to their owner if they are separated by more than 13 meters. Huge. Increased damage scaling. Wait, Typhon's heart might actually be tech. Umbral Link is cheaper. Triton's Conch got a buff. I feel like I saw this one coming because that item hasn't been purchased in a while. Oh, these are the camp changes.
That's for melee gods more than...
Yeah, they were talking about this. So blue buff has less HP. Oh my gosh. They nuked blue buff. And the time got pushed up. I didn't even notice that. So purple and blue spawn earlier. And they have 1/3 the health. Half less protections. They're worth 1/3 the XP and 1/3 the gold. It's so solos can start blue by themselves. It's worth so much less. This really impacts this whole win. They also changed it so mid camp and oracles don't spawn until 1:30. So the early game is dramatically different right now, and you can feel it. Obviously, I didn't get to test like the deep shit yet, but it felt kind of bad. Oh, dual lane won't miss a minion. It feels bad though for the game pacing. Like I genuinely like the game pacing with this live start right now. This start feels like it slows things down and turns into more farming. So the way the game was, right, you didn't have enough time to do all the camps and then be at mid camps. So the mid camps broke up the farm and created different pathing, right? Because somebody would go to Oracle, someone would go to mids, it would change, it would break the map up. With the current start, in a minute and a half, you can clear speed buff an entire side of one map, or the entire side of one map and speed buff. So I think there's gonna be a lot more stalemated shit going on with this, because that also causes a cycle of all the shit respawning at the same time over and over again. I mean, for mid, you guys are in the same boat though. Like, you do the same. Your mid didn't change at all. I feel like you guys are in the exact same boat. What changes is duo get the lane faster, solo get the lane faster, but they both have less XP. Jungle farms more, which causes there to be way more time spent in the jungle rather than looking for fights, which changes the pace of the game. I don't know if duo still gets level 2 at the same time or not. I feel like they wouldn't. Alrighty, Titan Talk time. Jorm release. There better be something else in this patch, or Jorm better have the coolest aspect of all time, a Ganesh level aspect. If not, I'm disappointed.
Talking. There we go. Hello and welcome in to Titan Talks once again. This edition is all about Jormungandr, and to do that, we have the wonderful Clumsy Death joining us.
What's going on, everyone?
I'm going to be nice today.
Huh?
I'm going to be nice today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike like my usual self towards you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, exactly.
But we're here all day to talk about Jormungandr. I have never played this show before, so I expect a lot of technical issues. But where are we going to start, boys? Do we just go straight in game? What do we do?
Is there any kind of like preamble?
What do we do?
The preambles, my favorite.
Who is Jormungandr?
What is Jormungandr?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I'm not going to go to the whole spiel about
Snake.
Jormungandr and how and you know the Norse god and all that stuff. But yeah, Smite 1 to Smite 2, Jormungandr. I mean, this is one of those characters I think a lot of people have been super excited for.
Yeah.
It's we talked about on Titan Talk before about like some of these easier gods and harder gods and kind of mingling everything together. Jormungandr is definitely one of the ones that isn't on the easier side, but one that we knew was kind of this, he is he's a support character, but he's much more on the bruiser side than on the guardian side. That being said, we've definitely seen him kind of mix between the roles. And in Smite 2, you're absolutely going to see a little bit more flexibility there, kind of more than ever before.
With the power of aspects.
Yes, with the power of aspects and with the power of like Smite 2 and the hybrid scalings and stuff like that. So Smite 2, Jormungandr will be the big snake you guys know and love. There is not a massive
I know
amount
another
of,
one, buddy. What are you saying?
That really changed the way he's going to do things. He's just cleaner. He just feels good. There's kind of one new gameplay mechanic and a couple of small things kind of interspersed. And his aspect as well, nothing too crazy and fancy, but between all the different scalings he's got going on and the +1, there'll be just kind of new ways to play him. I'm very excited to see how that's going to work out in Smite 2.
There's so many different ways to build him. Just like in our playtest, it seems like every day there's a completely different Jormungandr thing happening.
There's a lot of flexibility here. He's a very flexible long world snake.
Okay, well, using the handy dandy desktop.
Hey,
I said it. I got there. We're going to game, and I'm hoping this will work as time goes on. I'm just going to make sure the audio works.
Nice.
Chat, let me know on the audio, please, because I have a feeling because it's my account, it may be too loud or too quiet.
I can't hear it at all.
We can't hear any. No.
No.
We could hear this earlier. No. Try that.
Audio.
Oh, Chess says audio is fine. Oh, there we go. Now I hear it.
Audio's fine. Liars.
Yeah.
There was no audio.
Yeah, I hear it now.
Is that too loud or too quiet? I'll quickly find it.
Yeah, quick. Yeah, look at all the new effects coming in.
Yeah, these turned out, I think, really cool.
Yeah.
I think they look even more like toxic. Well, hey, come on.
Sorry.
Calm down here.
Have a look at this.
It's a habit. My bad.
But no, I think they look even more like toxic venom pit than they did before.
Yes.
You know, and it's just like
double down on the goop.
Yeah, we went hard with the goop. Yeah,
that was something that it's like when we were having a look at Smite 1, we're like, okay, well, what are the important things to keep in with Jormungandr? What's kind of his theme, his FX themes going on? One of it was like kind of that toxic goop going on. Some of it was like the blue, purples, and pinks as well.
So where are we starting?
Where are we starting? All right, I have a big list of notes. I said that not much has changed, but there's still a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about. All right, so we'll start at the beginning.
Okay.
Which is his basic attacks. So one of the things that was talking about, you went to the right spot because usually we don't have a lot of basic attack information, and if we do, it might be on the passive, and Jormungandr's basic attacks were kind of on his passive.
Okay.
Now we're just putting it here because, well, you'll see. So One of the things
40% damage on item effects.
Overheating and cooling worked on the back end for Jormungandr. For the players, it's not going to seem like there's too much change. But previously,
40 strength, 8% it, plus 40% basic attack power.
Now we can just straight up tell you like the base overheat rate is 1.5. The base cooling rate just is 2.5. Now those tick at a rate of 0.1 seconds, and he's got that passive meter, which is going to help. Like this is just how the ability works, and we can even just reveal that to you. While in Smite 1, that just was not gonna, like we just have to give you a formula.
Look at that goop.
Look at that goop. So we soft reworked how that works. That also will functionally mean that the timing, there will be a tiny bit of difference. I think 1 second, actually more.
Well, I think we know we're testing a pure int auto attack build, right?
That being said, or at least more
surely
for the overheating. But there's going to be some new gimmicks on
or
there
like
so
a basic attack power build.
To notice already if you're an astute Snake player, Snake enjoyer, is that the attack speed conversion has actually changed. So from Smite 1 to Smite 2. So now it's going to be affecting the overheat rate, not the cooling rate. Because I was kind of looking at that before, and some of the stuff we do in Smite 1 is almost just like legacy and what we were able to do technically at the time. But if you're going attack speed, you kind of want to be able to be at a faster rate more often, not the fact that you can regain your cooling faster. So now you're not attacking faster, but you're able to stay in the faster attack rate for longer.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's one thing. Other things that I'm sure people are going to want to know about is that your basic attacks will be able to proc item effects and will be able to crit.
Okay.
If you hover over that one more time,
yeah,
you can see that he does have the lower scaling. It's 40% strength instead of 100%. Obviously, that would be obscene. He does hit at 5 attacks per second, so he is still doing he is still over the 100% DPS per second. But then obviously he's going to be scaling that lower and lower and lower based on his kind of overheat mechanics. So he can do all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
It also does say there 20% healing because you can go things like Arrow Bow, which for the record, by the way, today was twice as strong. It was actually set to that 40%. So I literally just before coming here, me and Josh,
Josh has been spamming the Arrows Bow Jorm in playtest, and it actually just heals for a ton. So
that has to be OP
as it should be. Now it'll be slightly less, but maybe it's actually was fine, and 20% is too low.
We'll see. We'll see.
So
we'll see a flash test later today.
Okay. Now I noticed when I hit you, man.
Wait.
There's a
okay. So
before you even do that,
okay.
This is a good example of you can see.
Yes.
You can
great,
see.
Great
Yeah.
We added
Scooch. So if you scooch closer to the god, you can see the outline of the god through Yorm.
This was new tech that was added by Tech Art, and Josh was pushing forwards to it. Is you can now see enemies that are inside your, so that Ymir is within your basic attack range, and it'll be. It might only just be for enemies, but before you wouldn't be able to see anyone, and you're kind of just blinding yourself. Now you can actually kind of see a little bit more about what's going around you.
Yeah.
This was something that
huge.
we actually
What's up,
thought about
Trippin?
doing.
Thank you for the gifted.
Almost.
Yeah, and that was kind of a vision blocker and it's frustrating. We actually thought about doing something like this in Smite 1, but there was a lot of discontent and just concern over that you just wouldn't be able to see yourself properly.
True.
Because like if you do that, you're losing yourself a little bit. Now if there's 5 enemies or minions, whatever, it might be a bit. But we went back and revisited on Smite 2. We're like, no, this just looks better. It is better, and the quality of life and the clarity is way more important than the fact that sometimes you might be losing your own.
And I will say that like while you're playing it, it feels even more natural than like looking at it in video, because like the first time that this was turned on for a playtest, the people that played Jorm like did not even realize that it had been added.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
I felt like I could see better. It was like, okay, sweet, we're doing good things.
Is this dev or is this?
This is dev.
This is dev.
Am I supposed to be on PTS?
Too
late. Run dev.
But can you go to the trees? I want to see if that tech is in as well. So if you go to the trees, so this is also new tech that we just added, which is tree culling tech, which I think will actually be there for every god, but Jormungandr will be affected by it more. Which is you can see those trees and the vegetation specifically culling away, so he's not as frustrated by the camera angles while you're inside the jungle. So you can see right there, that is something that would not have worked in Smite 1.
The tree would have just been in your way.
Yeah. And this just came in real hot, so if there's any issues with that, definitely let us know, because this was something that we definitely wanted to play around with, and the team went above and beyond.
Chat says huge. He is huge.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So then, for more information on the basic stuff and all that stuff, check out that basic panel.
Sorry for the detour there, but I felt like because you could see it was a good thing to talk about.
I didn't have that on my notes.
We've got all day. Awesome. We can take our time. There's no rush.
All right, so now we're talking about what Hindu was talking about.
Yeah, what is this purple line about?
So one,
pink,
the
fuchsia,
hard,
I guess.
The hard
Magenta?
displacement.
Magenta.
Yeah, there you go. The hard displacement aspect of his passive of immovable is exactly the same as it was in Smite 1. So if you hover over that, if you if you get affected by any hard displacement effects, which is
what?
listed there as banish, grabs, levitates, and vortex effects, knockbacks being knock-ups as well, and knock straight-ups and all those things, you get hit by that dazed debuff, which is just a 15% slow and a 5% damage increase for 2 seconds. That is just the way it was in Smite 1. But now there's actually, so this is the bigger +1, which is when you hit enemies, get enemy gods with basic attacks and the Venomous Haze ticks, because there's a little bit of a caveat on that, you'll start applying a debuff stack. You'll see that by that magenta kind of bar goes up. Once that hits max, your next time that you proc that will actually deal a burst of damage to that enemy, either dealing magical damage, which is scales off of your health, or scaling off of your strength if your strength is higher. So
interesting. So whichever one was higher, it'll go
Yeah,
to.
so we can see that for a second, but let's yeah, you can base
So this
attack.
is building it up.
Yeah, you're building it up, and then one more, and then
There's
you see
gonna
that
be a
79.
way that auto attack
Just hold
Jorm
it
is
down,
OP.
you can just keep doing
Yes,
this.
Call it.
exactly. And then so if you throw your one at them and spit,
Jorm's meta is gonna be auto attack.
exactly, you can see that is
Call it
also
right
ticking
now.
with each.
There's
tick.
no way it's not.
And it'll
Do
spawn
bonus damage. I'm out of place to minions on the map, objectives on the
No,
map. or
only
just
enemy
gods?
gods. Only enemy gods. So this is kind of that gimmick that we kind of teased around before, where you do as Jormungandr, you do your whole kit. You use your one, you burst upon it with the 3, you absorb things, you do with the 2, and then you've got your basic attacks, and that feels generally pretty good. But now there's just a little bit more of that gameplay of like, okay, in between that, while you're your basic attack or you're chasing them down with your 1, you want to still you have this goal of trying to burst those poison stacks and apply even extra damage.
Someone just asked in chat, does it time out? And you can see
Yes.
it does time out
So
after a few seconds.
If you hover over that passive information, I want to clarify on a few things. So the debuff duration lasts 4 seconds. It's not super long. It's 10 stacks, and then technically the 11th application will be what bursts. But yeah, whichever is higher. So you can see it there. You have actually 2 numbers. I ran into this before with like Sun Wukong. People just wanted more information. You're not doing both things. Whichever one is higher, it's either 5% of your max health or 100% of your strength. So if you start building into strength, and you might even start like Jormungandr as a strength build or a hybrid build, and you'll start seeing like that your base health will still be higher until you buy enough
whichever
strength.
is higher.
And then
So if
whichever
you're building
is
strength
higher,
and health, it'll go for whichever
it'll
one's higher
probably be
overall.
health for quite a while.
It should
to
be,
actually
but
dip
yeah.
into that 100% strength, you're going to really need to go into a strength build, but that is viable because of the on-hit basic attack
I have
stuff.
a very important question.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is a levitate?
Levitate, I think technically was Cerberus's ulti. I don't know if we use it in many other places, but I just kept it just in case.
Okay, just in case.
I can absolutely.
I was
use
like,
it.
I know all of these CC types, but what the heck is a levitate?
I think that was previously
Okay.
Cerberus, but I don't know if that's technically true anymore.
Maybe Mordred all. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. We can keep going.
Yes.
So we
Okay.
look to the
So
passive?
that's the biggest part about his passive and his +1s. So that's mostly it. The rest of his kit is going to be a lot more similar to before.
And
yeah,
I would say that like during the dev process, we experimented with a lot more +1s, but they felt like they were just like adding stuff to add stuff.
Yeah,
kind of.
we wanted to be careful there.
Yeah.
and even with the basic attack change and the passive change, that's going to be a lot of almost like even just added damage and added just components to it that we want to be careful. So okay, so AO1, his first ability, Venomous Haze. 2 things here. One a little bit more important than the other. One is, so you can see it works just the way you saw before. He's got the timer indicator. It lasts 20 seconds, and it kind of has, anytime you interact with it with your 2 or your 3, it'll go to that base 8 seconds, just like in Smite 1. But there's one new component, or 2 new components. One which is, while you are within the Venomous Haze itself, so if you just chill inside of it, like if you as Jormungandr are inside of the Venomous Haze, that cooling effect that used to be there for the attack speed conversion is actually going to be here now instead. So if you use your basic attacks, and then so you can actually see it's almost like fighting itself, and if you let go, exactly, you just speed up the cooling even faster. So that cooling effect does still exist. It's while lingering within his AO1.
Yeah. So stand in your pools, and you can attack a lot.
Longer,
exactly.
faster. Yeah, forever. Not forever, but close enough.
The other thing is,
do they stack on top of themselves?
No, I don't think these ones do, but that'll be important later.
Okay.
The other thing that's there that this was mentioned by the ambassadors, like Jorm's got all this poison stuff going on. It just kind of makes sense that this toxicity is probably going to be implying that healing reduction, anti-heal effect. So we
so it's an anti-heal
expanded upon that with some gods. The AO1 debuff will also be applying healing reduction.
What's next?
And that's the same as every god, and those don't stack with each other,
exactly,
right? It's just
correct.
if you are hit with
typical
anti-heal from a god that has anti-heal, you are at 25%.
All right, 2 and 3 much more simple. I mean, honestly, like I said, the rest of his kit much more simple and inline. His 2 does exactly what it used to do. You suck up the energy from nearby Venomous Haze pools, and it expands the ring of your 2. Oh, they added some extra effects there. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you do that. It grows up to 3 times, but now the buff here is actually that it used to do less damage based on subsequent damage effects, but now I think past 3. But now if you have more than 3 pools, which is unlikely, you'll actually just be doing the same amount of damage. That bonus damage that's there is technically uncapped, but the scaling is capped at 3.
Just show it out real quick. 3 sets and I'll actually
Yeah, and some people are commenting that like the radius looks a little bit different. Part of it is that the camera angle is just a little bit different than Smite 1. Josh talked about this a little bit on our Monday show, but like there was no great way to, even if we wanted to bring over the camera angle exactly the same as it was from Smite 1. So we took a new stab at it and came up with what we thought was the best possible camera angle for Jorm in Smite 2.
Yep.
So it's because of that ability looks a little bit bigger just because of the camera angle.
Yeah, we didn't do any massive tweaks to like the animation. Like I would say that his animation should be basically the exact same. The effects were the biggest ones that change for sure. Yeah, so the main thing on the AO2 is that it grows up to 3 times as normal, but the bonus damage can actually be from as many and does not have subsequent damage reduction. Yeah.
just see the size differences. You got more pools now.
Yep. Yeah, and you can see as well, just as usual, because I didn't mention it, is that he does have that empowerment effects, which is cool. Actually, I haven't seen that effects before. Which is he'll have his unlimited like overheat rate. So you just do that in the basic attack. 2 seconds per pool. You can see his passive meter is not draining. He's firing at the max.
Lord. Okay.
Cool. This next thing for the AO3, so the AO3 hasn't changed as well. Submerge.
Yeah. Jungle Jorm clear speed, by the way.
Ooh, yeah, Jungle Jorm clear speed does feel good, especially with Boombas as well. Like we actually found a bug with Boombas, but that's a whole separate issue that we then went to fix. Yes, so Submerge works exactly the way it did before, which is when you go underneath the ground, you're stealth, you gain movement speed, and you can refire to knock up enemies. You also have that pulsing kind of sonar effects, which helps you to reveal enemies over walls. You can kind of see that. It does have a range to it, so it's definitely not unlimited range. One new thing about it, though, is that we actually gave it the Loki stealth like flicker reveal, so that Jormungandr, if you hit Jormungandr, he will no longer reveal himself instantly and lose that sonar effect. He'll actually just do the pulsing reveal. It's like it'll be definitely more obvious like when gods hit you. So he will be a little bit more of a stealthy snake than ever before.
Okay.
Yeah,
still the same interactions with the
same
one
interactions with
usual.
the 3. He splits those out. They form 2 new pools.
Yeah, if you've never played Jorm before, the general flow while laning is 1, 3, 2. You know, you make a pool, you expand the pool, you get a big 2 out of it.
Yeah, Jorm's 3 will
characters,
still reveal stealth characters.
and also over walls, you can see him just getting some vision there in the mid lane.
Yeah, so 2 Jorms like in their 3s together will just keep revealing each other.
Can he crit? Someone asked already.
Yes, he can crit, but it'll be for that reduced like strength
reduced amount of the basic attacks, as we said there.
Yes.
Okay.
And then is the ult all we have left?
The ult is all we have left, I think. And then a little bit. Well,
and then we have other stuff. But I mean, from the kit,
yeah,
at least.
kind of. I wanted to clarify one more thing, but yeah, onto the ult. There's a whole bunch of tweaks, and kind of like Kilgoon and Josh were saying earlier, is that the camera system is entirely new, and we wanted to make sure that it was.
It has.
We wanted to make sure
scaling.
that it felt as similar to Smite 1 as possible, or even better in certain cases.
Is that base
but
damage
gameplay-wise, it's mostly the same. The biggest changes. So if you want to go ahead and use it,
no one hits all the ults ever.
you'll see that the rectangle crash component is larger than it was before. We kind of wanted, yeah, there is a couple bugs. One of them is that Jorm's untextured right now. Sometimes it's LT, so
It's fine.
that's
fine.
what we
It's
found.
still
No
good.
issue.
It actually just cropped up today, so that's kind of surprising. But yeah, there's a whole new thing. You just wanted Jorm's ulti is not the easiest thing to use, but 2 things we'll see here immediately, other than the untextured component, which we're not keeping now, is that the rectangle is larger. It doesn't do any more damage than it did. Also, it's much more well defined. So shout out to Arthur for a lot of the effects. You can just see it a lot better.
Yeah.
But the other thing that Hindu was doing a little bit there, kind of not on purpose, which is the min range is changed, so you can actually cast it, like you can overlap the initial starting radius.
Oh,
so that will make it a lot easier to use on enemy gods who are trying to shoot underneath you.
Wait, that's actually
way harder,
god-tier
way
quality of life.
way easier to finally get that. It's not super easy, but it's gonna be way easier. That being said, and I want to give the caveat that one of the reasons why we had the min range in Smite 1 was because it looks a little bit goofy at this range. Like when you're underneath it, and if you're just doing it at the minimum, like if you try and get like kind of parallel to the ground or whatever it is. Like
Bro,
it
you
looks
can
a
fuck
little
somebody
bit
up if
janky,
they're against
but
the wall.
it's not too bad. Like we're just like this is gonna just still be a quality of life increase. But yes, it does look a tiny bit janky with the tiny little loop and then that crash down. So yeah, there'll still be that. And then finally, the last tiny +1 on the ulti was that we shortened the time between attacks, so between these leaps, by 0.1 seconds. So not very long, but you know theoretically over 3 leaps, that's 0.3 seconds, and it just feels just a little bit cleaner to use. That was done purposely, so it's a buff, but it's very much was meant to be a quality of life.
Okay.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Earlier this week in playtest, the crash down was dealing damage to allies.
Yeah, that was.
It was a bug.
Really?
And
That's a feature.
I had gotten away from a fight.
You
got hit by your own
got
Jorm?
hit by my own
It was very funny.
Jorm crash down. I was like, what the hell? I died to my own Jorm? And I was like, is this a +1 I didn't know about or something? A -1? But no, it's just about to fix
They
it.
still got some good distance.
Last week it was also hitting towers. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's everything to do with the kid, right? It's the Jorm we know and love from Smite 1.
I
With
feel
a lot
like
of
that camera
small
angle
tweaks
is
throughout the kit
infinitely
to make
better.
it feel a lot cleaner, a little bit more easy to use, as well as the main gameplay changes being on his base attacks and the passive.
Does Jorm reveal gods in bushes?
I think so. I need to double check.
I
but,
can try
mean,
out a
is he
bot
in
and
bush?
see if
Yeah, you can
that'll
spawn a
work
bot
real
inside of a bush.
quick.
Does-
I tried to do the basic reveal plus stealth. So let's.
You in there?
He doesn't stealth.
Did I even put him in the bush? Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Okay, he's in the bush now.
Or you're
No,
in
it
stealth,
doesn't
though.
stealth. No, it doesn't stealth.
Oh, bots just don't care, actually. Okay, so
Yeah,
we'll have
bots
to test
never
that
care.
separately.
However, I expect it would.
Oh, can you, actually, you won't be there till Gold Fury is killed. I actually haven't tested. Can you go ahead and kill Gold Fury?
Sure.
I actually haven't seen this myself, so we're going to be learning this live.
What's the, there's a command to make it easy, right?
Tower Killer.
Tower killer?
Listen, the commands I don't know nothing about.
Yeah, and you can also
They
try
wouldn't
Tower
give me
Killer
them
off
in
the
live
space.
for safety chat. I understand that.
So yeah, Tower Killer, Space 1.
Tower Killer,
Tower
Space
Killer,
one.
all one word,
Yep.
Space 1.
We're gonna see it all. Space 1.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
So
3 kills.
go ahead and use a wind sprite. I want to see what happens.
Ah, well, I actually know we've got an update for what happens here. You get mobility as
Okay.
a Jormungandr.
Yes. So
It's supposed to
it
be-
does.
So you're gonna get a move
It is there. There we go.
What?
Cool.
That's
So
sick.
shout outs to Madzeneski. We on the
Yeah.
last Titan Talk when we discussed this, there was a lot of people going like, because I mentioned that wind sprites aren't going to allow him to get knocked back, and it gets hit by his passive, and he dazes himself. I went back to the desk and I was like,
That's pretty
I
funny.
was like, I think that's funny. I think you're willingly doing a button to hurt yourself, but there were a lot of people who were like, let's not hurt our friends. Like it should still provide a buff. So Jormungandr specifically, if Jormungandr uses a wind sprite, Jormungandr will instead get a very short duration movement speed buff. So to kind of help them.
Just to help him out. in that regard.
Agility relic should just work. You just do a dash. Yeah, it's not a
And
swing or a leap.
Is agility relic give him the
M3 is a
melee
debuff.
passive, the ranged passive? I guess
Oh,
neither
he's
of them?
technically a melee, so he would theoretically he would have the melee.
Okay.
passive.
Just go in the shop for a second. I gotta be careful what I show as well. Actually.
Um,
Oh yeah, I just did a little.
Is that
Yeah, you do a little hop
agility
for
hop?
it. It's kind of cute.
just a tiny little sneaky hop.
Slide. to
His
the left.
range auto attack penalty. You didn't tell me that before, Flair. Flair has been helping a lot, but so I'm very thankful. Just send me a note. I shouldn't have range. Okay, so last thing that I wanted to mention
Yeah.
is that Jorm does have hybrid scaling. So we talked about his basic attacks. He's got the in-hand 40% difference, and he's got that attack speed conversion. Both of those things are definitely going to matter, and the fact that his in-hand items will proc at the 40% amount. But also his 2, his 3, and his 4 all have some level of strength scaling to it. The main caveat being the 2's bonus damage does not have strength scaling, it only has int scaling, but the bellow itself does, and the 3 submerge damage and the 4 all components of it have strength scaling. So if you
Okay.
do want strength scaling, strength builds are possible and are viable. And
It would make sense because then the passive has strength.
Yeah.
exactly,
involved.
and the passive
Yeah.
has that strength kind of
basically
switch.
These crazy numbers are because of Tower Killer chat, right?
Oh,
Obviously,
yeah, that's
obviously
No,
we are
these are
dealing
normal.
9,000 damage.
These are
with an ability.
normal.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
You can tower killer space 0 to turn that off as well.
And
Yeah,
there you go.
Sunbeam Bow does work.
Sunbeam Bow, Braggies, all those effects do work. I think Sunbeam Bow is probably the most ridiculous one.
Okay.
That being said, let us know. We have that that like new valve of the item proc being at 40%. We can change it down to 30, 10, whatever we find to be balanced. We have tried a few on-hit item builds, funnily enough, hybrid scaling is probably, like, hybrid tanky strength might end up being more viable, because while you can get to some ridiculous numbers, and if you get to someone, get on top of someone, it does do a lot of damage with these on-hit builds. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and show it off, we totally can.
What do you want to do?
No, just go
I saw
like
the Hexstone one, but I'll.
Oh no, you can Hexstone. Go like Sunbeam Bow,
Sunbeam?
Odie Bow.
Okay.
And
You
Hexstone?
can definitely do all of those things, and you can do a lot of
Odie.
damage.
Oh my gosh.
But
Top of
the main
round.
thing that Jorm kind of struggles with, even with this item build, so the main caveat is that like you're in this melee mid range kind of, you know, you're trying to melee mid range, and it's not that easy to do that. So if a mage or a hunter kind of plays at the medium to long range, it's really easy to.
Oh my
Oh, what?
Okay. That looks really cool.
So I think I'm very curious to
What?
see how strong it's actually going to be in practice. It will feel strong. It will feel good. I think there are going to be viable builds, maybe overpowered builds. But yeah, let us know what it feels like. I think it's more fun to see it be viable than for it to just not even exist.
Okay.
Is there?
Oh.
Can we? People have been asking, what does the action cam
Yeah.
look like?
Okay.
Can-
So
sorry.
so
Sorry.
there's-
Am I?
No, that's the next
skipping
thing.
ahead? Oh,
that's literally
funny.
on the
That's
next thing on
funny.
my list. So yeah, you can go ahead and change to action camera. One or two technically have the same viewport. So gameplay or
that?
controls, gameplay.
Gameplay.
Yeah, camera mode top at the very top. You're already there.
I see. Okay.
Yep. You can change the action cam. So you know he's got his own custom action cam,
Over
where
the
he's a little bit to the over the shoulder, to the left a little bit, like you'd expect.
No.
Nothing too crazy there.
No,
But, I mean,
sir.
do you have the other thing?
I do, but I'll have to switch back.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
When we come out to look at the masters and stuff,
No.
we'll
Okay,
showcase
okay.
that
We
real
do
quick.
have.
This is like when you
let's
pick
come
the
back to
biggest
this
gun in
bullet
the
point
game
because
in
we
any
did play
FPS
around with
and you
another
can't see
action
half of your
camera
fucking screen.
view, but it was not going to work out.
Yeah, we'll show you what action cam would have looked like if we didn't do some additional work to this.
Well,
Right?
it definitely wasn't default like that.
Hold up. I'll bring us back to cams real quick.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
you wanna
just
show it
pull
off
up
immediately?
real quick.
Okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
can just do it now while we've got a second. Just got a few things, but here's a little look at on your screen
Yeah.
how Jormungandr looked through action.
So I mean, people talked about like what if you can fire from his mouth and stuff, but the problem is
it's like
like
playing through his nose.
yeah,
kinda how it
it's
feels.
not quite the same. So I gave everyone like I took this because I wanted to make sure that people had an idea of what it could look
Yo.
like, and yeah, maybe this is what maybe we'll have an action camera 3 one day, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna fly.
Yeah, and I will say, remember that for action cam, like main cam, you know, you'll be able to see outlines of gods that are like kind of in that close range to you.
It's kind of
situation.
wild. We
Yeah.
have
You can see it
inside
on-
cam as the new.
Yeah.
So I think
POV.
it makes, even though it's a little bit weird, right?
More
I think
FPS.
it is much more workable.
Insider buzz.
All right, sweet. Do we want to go?
So
to
what's next up?
Aspect.
Masteries or aspect?
Aspects?
Aspect. How do I need to come out and go back and I'm guessing?
Aspect.
for
No,
this?
there's actually command for it if you want.
Okay, cool.
Now, let's switch back to normal cam though for
We
the
should.
normal cam
You are
enjoyers.
right. For normal cam enjoyers. That's me.
Gameplay Indo.
Gameplay.
I'm never going to find this because I've never had to. Okay, classic. There we go. Back to normal, I feel like.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the aspect command?
So test talent, one
Test,
word,
talent,
space Jormungandr, and you'll start seeing.
space, yawn.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yep,
on.
There we go.
What's
So
it do?
if you
Hover that.
yeah, if you
icon.
hover over the
Okay,
icon
okay,
by his
okay.
thing, you'll see the full thing. So this is the aspect of the unyielding. The idea here is that it would flex Jormungandr to be more of the supportive side of a guardian rather than the bruiser side of a guardian. It does a few things. One being that the poison clouds will no longer deal any tick damage.
Okay.
But instead, if you or your allies
buff bot?
stand within them, kind of like you can for that the cooling, which I'll come back to in a second, they instead get a damage reduction basing off of your scaling with your percentage health from items only.
Okay.
So now if you're an ally of Jorm, it is one other thing to remember, but it is kind of like the Cupid aspect in a way. But yes, you will be able to gain a lot more defenses by being inside of the Venomous Haze Poison Clouds. Well, technically any
Including
poison
for
clouds.
Yorm too, which you can see
Including
what
for
I
Yorm
guess
too,
with
so you can see
these.
that. Decreased damage
decreased
taken.
damage taken.
So then
Okay.
the other thing there, which is the other bullet points, is that you no longer gain the basic attack cooling, but instead, while within those clouds, which is that second bullet point there, or the first one, but instead your Venomous Haze gets much faster cooldown reduction. So
Okay.
if you slash cooldowns, or sorry, not slash, but CMD, yeah, use a prompt for cooldowns.
Cooldowns? Okay. Cooldowns, you said, yeah?
Yep.
Just cooldowns?
Yep.
Okay.
And spit your one out. Cooldown. Now go inside of it.
Okay.
It is much
Look at the
faster.
tick down. Oh, goodness. Okay.
And then you can fire another one, and then you can put them underneath yourself, and those ones do overlap. So if you're inside these and you want to throw another one, and you're creating more pools, and this will overlap even more.
Oh, fuck.
And remember, you're not doing any tick damage, but you are spitting a lot more, and you're creating more defensive positions.
This changes.
But there's a world where I think it is possible to kind of maybe go a ranged in like int build with Jorm. So between your defensive builds, between your strength on hit builds, between your bruiser builds, you also potentially have an int build. But like I said, the idea still here is more so for the defensive aspect of it.
And do the support, like, do the damage mitigation stack, or is that does not?
Damage mitigation
damage?
Okay.
So it's just the cooldown reduction to spit again. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
there's the idea there is still more so that you're poking a lot more because
Admiral,
you're losing a lot of
brother.
the damage take on minions.
Yeah.
But you're able to kind of put this like defensively for your allies, and then start kind of spitting and kind of creating more zones.
Make
for
it more
Do
zones.
they slow still? Did you say
They
that?
still slow. So yeah,
Okay.
the only thing that's
Okay.
being removed is the damage tick.
The
so
tick
not
is
the actual
removed.
on-hit
The
damage as well.
initial damage still
and then
does
finally,
damage.
the
So
second
you can sit
ability,
there and just
consuming,
machine gun spit ones
yeah,
out and do
Fellow,
damage.
no longer does any of the bonus damage from consuming the Venom's haste pools, but instead provides all of the allies and yourself extra inted strength.
There you go.
I wonder how much.
So you're getting bonus strength in it whenever you
Yes.
use that. Okay. So it's definitely more of a not going to do as much damage. Jorm still provides some CC, but also
But
big
much more
defenses
utility and
utility for your team.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is something that we said we were going to do when we first announced Jorm, right? That this is kind of the spot in our rotation where we would traditionally do like a support character. And Jorm is a character that has been played in support. He's been played in solo. He's had a lot of lives, So we just wanted to make sure that like there was a very clear supportive aspect.
Even more utility for him to play as a
Yeah.
support. Really.
Yeah, for people that are support mains and really wanted to have a supporty kind of character in this spot. So.
Yep. A lot of different questions. You do not need to consume any of the pools to buff your allies, but it does increase the range of which the allies can be buffed in, technically.
Okay.
Yeah, if you hover over the 1,
Yeah.
that's the damage taken reduction. So it's 5% base and 0.2% of health from items specifically, and then -1 second per every 0.5 seconds for the cooldown.
So 5% base and then health scaling.
and then
okay.
health from items skill.
Health from items. Yeah, just made that clear. Belt Thieves, 1,000 health.
Yes,
you
I
go.
did have to balance it around Thieves. Thieves is going to make it very good. If you want a Thieves and Yogi's necklace, like he does get some, he gets to a good chunk of damage for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's all of the gameplay stuff to do with Jorm. He's got a, like I said,
There's so much to test.
he's a lot similar to Smite 1 and Smite 2 with some of these +1s and with the aspect, but he's just got so many different
Watch him be
scaling
cracked
mechanisms
as a
going on
support.
that I want to like. At this point, it's if you go even further,
He'll
then
be
you're
the
probably
only
going to force
aura
things more
support.
than I would kind of want to force things.
God, right?
I want to see what ends up happening. Like if it ends up being more int Jorm with aspect, or support aspect ends up being way too good with the damage reduction. If it ends up being the on-hit builds, if it ends up being Bruiser Jorm plus on-hit builds, or with more int space. Let's see what the players come up with. Let's not restrict them, and then we'll dial things in or clean things up as we have to.
Real quick before we hop out of game, chat wants to see you build Dreamers, Idol, and Avatars Parashu and pop them both and see how big he gets.
Yeah, I have no idea what happens. I don't think the ulti will inherit that.
The ulti definitely won't. But
Add golf. That's what I'm going to
add golf.
Add gold.
Yeah, just keep yourself.
Oh my god, I'll get that.
Oh god, it might. Well, let's find out.
So
It's not gonna
Dreamers
affect
and
the
what was the other?
damage.
Dreamers and Avatars. You have to sell one of your actives though to
I
be able
don't
to.
want to. I like these. Avatars.
Oh, did you piggy already and show that off? Because I wasn't looking.
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Okay.
It works.
Okay. Let's see.
He says.
There we go.
There you go. Big snake.
God damn.
But this, yeah, that.
oh.
Okay. So there's one
We
other
got
bug.
texture back.
There's,
No.
there's two. I think there's one or two bugs, not the untextured one. But
Yeah,
we
big
just,
No, I know.
We just saw one
Shrinking.
there actually, which is so these the flash test is going live at some point. And I think there's
2 o'clock or so.
There's two
Should
bugs
be
that
up
we,
today.
that will probably go into them that we still haven't figured them out very well. One, which is when you ulti, his head won't be at his head location. It'll be somewhere in the middle of his body. That one we just can't figure out why it's happening.
We're working on it.
We're
It should be
working on
fixed before we go. Also, you'll randomly see a head.
In Origin, yes.
Yeah.
So if you're playing in mid lane and you randomly see a Jorm head
Yeah.
sticking out there, yeah, those two.
He's not
bugs,
really there.
We're working on trying
Oh.
to find out where they're from.
Other note about flash test from Pawn. Thank you for the reminder. Do not play as Cupid. His
Yeah.
his ability 2 does not work for Flash Test today. So if you just want to nerf yourself and play without a 2, then fine, but don't play Cupid.
Why? Is it
Yes.
they
Cool down.
nerfing it?
So I think
changing it?
it's everything to do with Jorm. Hopefully
What up,
people
Hood
enjoy
Princess?
playing
Hello,
the big
hello,
snack
thank you
in
for
Smite
the
2.
We
with
should
all
go
the
check
crazy
out
stuff
his
going on.
We
Ascension Pass.
will. I'm just going to make sure I don't show anything off because I'm
Oh, do
scared
you want
of
to show?
really
Do you want to show Josh's bug first?
I'm scared
Yeah, we
of
can do
legal.
that.
Is that what he
So
said?
Josh on Monday mentioned a bug where Jorm had a pancake face at first, and he wanted to show the video. So he sent the video over. We're just going to show that real
I
quick.
may not have audio for this, but it will
That should be okay.
showcase exactly what we saw with Pancake Head Jorm.
Yeah, Jorm's been a technical challenge, that's for sure, as one would expect with all the stuff. But, you know, Josh and the animation team and 3D
video?
art stuff
Video is not wanting to play
really
now?
kicked ass. Cheap effects and sound effects.
It worked earlier. Oh, okay. Okay, we'll slow down.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing
So
this.
you can
Well,
see
everything
Pancake
looks
Head
almost
Jorm.
normal, but then you kind of look at it and realize, oh,
A squished face. Yeah.
Very flat.
Yeah.
Very flat.
What the
Having a couple of
fuck?
issues
very
there.
flat.
Yeah. Josh says he was a technical joy. So look at the flat
Technical
face.
joy.
I actually prefer him that way.
Well,
Yeah,
me
the flat
personally.
face.
But
He-
yeah.
He's
it would,
been
it would hurt
submerging
more
way too many
to be
times.
hit with the
That's pretty
flat,
good.
right? Like I don't know.
It would.
Flat
It
snack.
would. Okay. So
All right.
we can go in game again.
There's a good comment. Pug Jorm.
Oh my
I get it.
gosh.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
I've not unlocked this yet, but I don't think I need to. So we should be able to go back to the laptop. And here's
Sweet.
the mastery
Aw,
screen.
dude.
Obviously,
That looks awesome.
Nice. Oh,
we'll start
man,
off
he's
with
up-
the
Ooh,
base track of
red
just
eyes, dude.
getting the unlock on the base track, and then little look there. What's this? We've also got. I feel like I've never done this before. Am I?
Yeah.
Okay, poison bursts.
So wait, what is that? What's Poison Burst track?
Yes,
Poison
that's
burst.
the amount of times that you use like the new +1 feature.
Oh, yeah, yes. Okay.
By reaching max immovable set. So immovable is his passive because it made a lot of
Yeah.
sense for the hard displacement. Now it makes a little bit less sense.
This is one of the best claps in the game.
Yes.
Can you play that one more time for people who haven't seen it
Yes,
before?
I will. I'm trying to get the right.
Jorm
angle.
obviously doesn't have any arms of his own, so he's kind of recruited an arm.
He is by
for now.
regurgitating minions.
Yeah,
That's what's going
absolutely.
on. So the clap.
I think there was even
objectives
more
destroyed.
added sound effects added to that by Kellen too, so now the minion's a little bit less happy.
Goddess S, 425 worlds leap. This is the total distance traveled over and under the earth.
So that's what his 3 end is for.
There's a little look at the Onyx skin.
Yeah, it's
Whoa,
very
it's like
golden.
glimmering.
Black
And this is this is like an example of us being able to do metals better now. Like so, we've got metals that are actually shiny. So I think it's looking good, making progress.
After that, we've also got the
Damn,
opal version.
whoa.
Hell yes.
Yeah,
like-
you
I
know,
love
all the
this.
same
It's
passes
the
if you
neck
bought
area, the
game.
underneath of the neck and the shimmering is
The gold eyes are
fantastic
actually
there.
really creepy too.
Or you bought the big
Next up
pass,
is the most
whatever it was.
interesting thing I always find in the mastery passes.
I haven't even seen
is-
this.
What this is, I don't know either, but it looks. Okay. Nom 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 is the
That
name
art
of the
is so
emote.
funny.
Yeah, Ben did this.
Oh, that's good. Yep, that's great.
Fantastic on that one.
Nom,
then we've
nom,
also
nom.
got the wave. He's just gonna shimmy
just-
his scales on the back.
Wiggles his little body. Just, what up?
We also have the World Snake title
Yes.
alongside
God kills as usual.
number of God kills, and then Jormungandr logo and the
Radiant. Man,
Radiant
still
skin.
always looks so
Yeah, it looks very clean.
good.
Looks great.
Yeah,
God,
like
that's
now that we got this
clean.
gold really working well, like I think
This-
this looks better than ever.
Yeah, the segments of the body look really nice. Oh my gosh, that's so good.
And then is the loading card done? Probably not, I would assume, or the loading frame.
Oh, on here.
Yeah, click that.
Dun-
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, it
it's
is.
done.
The loading
Nice.
frame. My bad, I forgot about that one.
It's simple, but you kind of got like the fins going around. You got that blue and purple energy, the haze going on.
Just hidden behind it.
Yep, exactly.
And this is my chance to remind everyone that if you buy the Ultimate Founders Edition, you get all the Ascension passes forever.
Yeah.
A lot of you have been taking advantage of that since we made that change. So,
Which means you'll get diamonds on the mastery tracks as you can play the gods.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get access to all of these.
if you own the Ultimate Founders Edition, you'll just have this when you log in on Tuesday. If not, you'll have to buy it. Or
Every
just buy
god
the
that has a
Ultimate Founders
mastery's pass.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Edition. Sweet.
So I'll go back to
Yeah,
canvas
think-
for now.
Other
and then
stuff.
now I can relax. I think like that was
You can
that was
direct me if there was anything else I was supposed to do.
There's more stuff that we have to show off. So this patch, I will say,
show off.
beyond Jorm, there probably isn't quite as much as there has been in some of our recent patches because we have like 3 things that are kind of like more than 3 things. We have a bunch of things that are like close to shipping but aren't quite done in time for this update.
Yeah.
So we'll have more stuff in the next update. I still think we have some exciting stuff. Probably the best place to start. Do you want to do skins or do you want to do the gameplay stuff first? Chat, skins or gameplay?
Chat. Choose. I don't mind.
Skins.
Okay.
Okay. First few people with skins. Okay, so we have 2 all-new travelers this update.
Of course, Tempo big skins.
Pick one.
Of course.
Which one do you want to start with?
Give me a second.
Yeah, click on the travelers tab.
I did, but also the view is different. That's all. It's fine. Yep, we'll go with Agni because it's the first one on my screen.
Yeah. So these are going to share a theme.
Ba-ba.
Ooh. Okay.
Infinite duality Agni.
Right.
Duality Agni.
Yeah. So classic
Split apart.
classic skin. I think looks better than ever with the additional.
It's not lasagna though.
It's not lasagna.
It's
I'm
not.
sorry. This was in development before you started spamming lasagna in chat. I think the materials in this just like. This one really got a glow up compared to some of the, I think they just did a great job with this one. It comes with 3 different prisms in addition to this. This dark matter one is really sweet. I've been using this in playtests.
Dark matter, and then we've also got Azure Rift.
Azure Rift.
Azure.
Nice. That one's really cool.
Yeah.
And then we also have Platinum Pulse.
Nice.
Yeah. If you want to be a more silver boy.
It's all right.
And then on top of that, in here you can also
really
get
hype.
Galaxy
I'm not
Jumpstart.
gonna lie.
You can see on the ground there.
Yeah.
And also the 2
Not
heads.
hype, sorry.
2 heads.
2 heads is kind of
2
fun.
heads Hindu battle. Okay.
Yeah, and I believe this will be, I'm not going to say the price because don't quote me on it, but it should be about the same as all
I'm
the
pretty sure I
Travelers
checked.
Cool, they're
similar
fine,
to what
but
we've
they're
been
not
doing
hype.
recently. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I've already unlocked them because I've tested them in dev
and-
guys, so apologies for that.
If you just want the classic skin, same as with all the Travelers that have a classic skin, it will be
I think they
available
said
for
they're not gonna do
Legacy
swag
Gems
me.
later on once this Traveler kind of rotates out. So you don't have to spend anything if you want the classic skin. You just have to wait a little while before it's available.
Okay, and that's the first one. I'm just going to quickly... I'm so scared of leaking stuff.
Oh, it's okay.
I know, but knowing me,
That's
it'll be something
half the
terrible
show.
where you're like, no, why would you
If we
show
were in
that?
dev, yeah, it's a
So
bit
I'm like-
scary.
And then second of all, I'm just going to throw him on the screen. It's Cerberus, but
That
that's-
one looks
this
cool.
Same
is his
thing?
base.
Okay.
Yeah, so this
see,
is
this
Infinite
ruins it for
Overseer
me.
Service. We decided we'd do 2 Infinite skins this patch. Normally we try and like do a more diverse group of like themes, but we just thought these 2 were so cool, and we thought we'd bring them out
This
together.
is so dope. I love this one a lot, and I love that like his face still has like his stash in his beard. Like,
His moustache,
he's
yeah.
just got like the
I
dichotomy.
think he stands out
between
on
all
one
that.
of
It's
these
so
for
cool.
sure. Like, between this
Oh,
one,
I
with the black
love it.
moustache,
It's
you can
so
really...
cute and celestial at the same time. Look at that like fire material going through his body.
The crazy
It's like
artwork,
traveling
yeah.
through it like pipe, like going from his head to his tail. That's
So that's
sick.
the Infinite Overseer.
And then we've got
Sorry, I should say the Obsidian Supernova
Obsidian.
and Forest
Oh,
Guardian.
I kind of like this one. I would bet this will be the least popular because nobody ever buys nature skins, but I think it looks cool.
It does look cool. And I agree with you that other people will probably go for a different option. So Obsidian, Forest, and we also have Abyss. This is
Whoa.
my
this
favorite
one's the
one.
coolest.
Okay.
Even
That's
though I like
intense.
the mustache in the first one, I really
I like
like
the fire one, yeah.
the color effects on
This
this
is
one.
crazy.
So that's the Abyss Walker. It's
Yeah.
going to be available along with this Cerberus pack. You'll also get the Overseer title and Flying Doggos. Total time Cerberus has been lifted in the air by either his Soul Expulsion or Stygian Torment. Okay. So there's a little look at that one too. And I believe there's one other as well. Just a
Yeah, so there's
minor
one. There's one other.
Yeah.
It's not new though. We've seen that people, generally speaking, like the Travelers a lot better than buying prisms directly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a test here where Miss Senshi Bologna, which is a skin which has already been out and it's already gotten prisms, is going to be turned into a Traveler here. If you own any of these prisms when this goes live, you will just get this Traveler on patch day.
awesome.
So if you want to, game the system and exploit it, you can buy a cheaper prism now. And
I
then,
was going to say that, but I'm like, chat, go buy one of these now because it's cheaper.
So basically, we just find that players like this format better. So we're trying converting a existing one into this, and we'll see how it goes. So if you-
Whoa, love that one.
yeah, they're all 3 really cool. There's this Neo Wave with the really
Yes.
cool shield.
Golden
Grad.
Golden Grad, yeah. And
finally, the
Varsity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so like I said, if you own any of these when the patch goes live, you'll just have this Traveler. If not, you can buy this Traveler for, I guess it's going
What
to
if
be...
I own the skin and not any of the prisms?
If you just own the skin, then you do not get access to this because the skin is like a classic skin.
Okay.
So it's just like this, the classic skin will still be available as a classic skin, or you can buy the Traveler if you want the prisms.
Heard.
Really, Travelers are just meant as like here's a prism collection, and they include the classic skin at first, but the classic skin is going to be available for Legacy Gems later. So it's not like, that isn't kind of the point of the Traveler.
Okay.
And yeah, the base skin will still be available for legacy gems. Somebody asked that. I do not believe I don't 100% quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure when we do this, we're going to turn off these prisms for direct purchase. So if you did just want to buy a single prism direct purchase and not have the trio, you should try and do that before the update.
Do it before the update.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So
come back.
And I will note, we did in the last update add kind of boosted coin levels to travelers.
Yeah.
So if you buy any of these travelers, you will get 5 levels of boosted coins.
Interesting.
Where you get double coins for 5 levels. So you get like 1,000 free coins, kind of just for playing along.
Heard.
And we're still doing other stuff with travelers, but that's the update that I have for this update.
Nice.
And then I think we're on to gameplay stuff.
Yeah, so I got a couple of notes from Matt, who was working on some conquest changes.
Yeah.
I think we should mention this because PTS will be up probably after this show.
Yes.
If not already. And PTS should be available for custom games all through the weekend. We've been doing that pretty religiously. However, there is a couple of changes that are going to be making this update, so you will see them in game, which is push the Oracles and mid lane contestable buff camp initial spawn times back from 1 minute to 1 minute 30. So it's going to be a little bit more delayed in that middle area around the map, which means we'll probably see some jungle and mid lane
this
adjustments
changes a
of
lot.
what the rotation is going to be at the beginning.
Wait,
of the
this
game.
actually changes everything.
Just some context on that one. There's been a lot of conversation, especially
Starts
from,
are different now.
some of the high level content creators about the starts, not just around mid lane and the kind of the jungle start there,
The pathing almost,
but
yeah.
just in all the different lanes. This was just one small thing that we wanted to try out with, and we definitely still have a lot more things that are in mind. But this should help be less stifling for that first rotation in the mid.
So just a reminder, it's the middle buff camp initial spawn time has been pushed back. And the
By
contestable
30
back.
seconds. So
By
it'll be-
30 seconds,
yeah.
yeah. So expect to see maybe the jungler sticks around in the middle a little bit longer or leaves a little bit longer.
Exactly.
And that becomes more of a contested. We'll find out how that goes. I also have down here, the pots near goal for you pick can now be broken with basic attacks.
Okay, so this is specifically melee basic attacks?
Correct.
And this happened because Jorm came in and he couldn't breathe on them with his melee basic attacks?
Well, I also know Ho Yi was having some issues with his aspect of actually hitting those as well.
well, hopefully
but
that's
this
fixed
should also
separately.
be involved in this. But most of the time as a melee character, you would walk into these.
Yeah,
The
you just
ranged
walk into it
characters-
anyways, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
but you can get a little bit, you can hit them a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Minor, but a small adjustment. Also, jungle monsters now use their abilities earlier in their attack chain.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what we had seen was jungle camps. Basically, after your first rotation, you were
dead quick.
killing them before they had a chance to use their
I
abilities.
feel like people didn't even realize they had abilities.
And people didn't even realize it. So we want to make sure that you see these abilities and you have to play around them a little bit because it makes the camps a little bit more fun and interesting. So they will happen more frequently or earlier in the attack chain. Cool.
And then that's jungle bosses. And then Wind Sprite, which you already mentioned, but Jormungandr gets a movement speed for 2 seconds if he uses those. I also see some small stuff on versus AI Joust. And
Yeah,
Arena.
this is actually a big one. So Joust and Arena versus AI will once again use their the rules that the PvP, the classic counterparts use instead of the quick play counterparts. So if you want to play versus AI with full item store with the classic rule set,
I think the
you'll be able to
starts
do that
in
again
the
in
jungle are
Joust
just
and
going to be
Arena
more
versus AI.
small camps get done.
And also live, the
To
other
be
thing I've got
honest.
down here is something to do with a PC server hotfix.
Yeah. So this is live now.
What up, D-League?
So
Game of the
we
Seven?
are pushing. It should be live now. We have pushed the hotfix out to live. There was an issue that we had seen happening where basically if you lag out briefly, you would kind of lose control of your character. You would like freeze for a second. You would kind of reconnect, but your character would still be moving. It would look like you were doing things, and then you would teleport to wherever your character had moved to. This should address that. So once your client
They can't
pitches
bring
and it comes
back Splice
you
Jorm
should
or any of that
regain
shit.
movement more quickly.
So
and
no,
the server
you'll never
fix
see
will
that shit
prevent you
again
from
unless the
teleporting after that
orgs
pitch.
sign
So it
new
should
contracts. And I don't
return-
think Splice
if there
exists
is a
anymore.
connection interruption, it should be less disruptive than it was previously.
Gotcha. So you shouldn't really feel yourself teleporting around a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kind
So-
of a big goal there.
Yeah. So, and we're working on a lot of optimization stuff. We're working on a lot of this kind of stuff. This was just one that went live today, and I wanted to mention. There is one other bigger gameplay thing. If you can go into jungle practice with a character,
Sure.
and you have to click on a god and then click join jungle practice. You can't actually just go to jungle practice.
Sure.
because
Any
that's
particular
broken right
god? Does it matter?
now. Any god.
Okay.
Let's go Jorm again.
Too late. I already chose it.
All right, never mind.
My apologies.
I just saw a lot of people still asking if
We're in game.
it's like, oh, have they shown off Jorm? It's like, yeah, we started an hour
I mean,
ago.
that could always be.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you open up the item store.
Yes.
So in this update, we have done a full overhaul to every item description in the game.
Did they fix fear?
Everything has been rewritten to try and make it a lot easier to understand what exactly this thing does.
Okay.
Previously, we had long paragraphs.
Shit, this looks so much better.
That said things in kind of confusing ways.
Oh my gosh, that's so much better.
I'm not going to say that all of these are perfect, but they should be a step in the right direction. And if there's ones that are more confusing,
so much better.
Please let us know, and we will definitely take a look at them.
Good job,
There's still a little bit of work to
Hi-Rez.
be done. Some of the bolding's not consistent right now. Everything has also been color-coded, recolor-coded again, so it might take a match or two to understand what the color coding means.
So much better than
we do
reading a
have,
text, like
specific
a
color
whole
coding
fucking
for
paragraph.
everything. We also have added at the very top underneath the item's name, we've added kind of up to two keywords
Intelligence
to tell you what the item is for at just a really high level. It's not necessarily everything that the item does, but just like what is the category of the item here. So like, you know, Typhon's Heart is a summon item and a lifesteal item, right? Because it summons a thing, and and then you can read more if you want to know more of what it does. But the idea is to just give you a quicker idea of what these items do. Anything that is an active item will have the word active. It won't say what the active does. You'll have to read that section yourself. But we just thought that was clearer for players to be like, oh, okay, active item. All right, I need. A lot of people either just want to avoid active items entirely, or they, what it does doesn't matter as much at that point.
Can we search by keyword? I'm guessing that's to come.
Ooh, I don't think we can search on based on tags yet.
Active? Nope.
But that's something that we, we'll probably get in there eventually.
We'll get
And
well, that's really cool. I mean,
so like Gilded Arrow, attack and farm.
Yeah.
And another thing that we've done here,
Farm. That's a good one.
You gotta sow those seeds.
and like the jungle ones say jungle in them, the support ones say support in them, right? So it should be clearer like what this is for.
Yeah.
There's a couple new terms, which this is a good example of. We've introduced the idea of Omni Protect for something that gives you both physical protection and magical protection. And there's also like Omni Power for things that give you both intelligence and strength. So you might see those. Why only 2 tags instead of 3? Because 3 was overwhelming and 2 was a lot clearer. We wanted to only do 1, but there was too much for 1. Right. And you always try and thread the needle. What's the least you can do to tell people what a thing is? So we needed 2. Adaptive means that it has an adaptive stat on it.
XC's wrong.
That's
XC says strength, but it should be adaptive.
It just shows we continue to
overview.
push into like making sure we get the data in the game for people to be able to review a little bit easier. And I do like the color coding too, because I'll be honest, I'm lazy when it comes to reading sometimes. So just seeing color going, okay, cool. I know from now on that attack damage is like a pinky red.
Yep.
Then I'm like, okay, cool. I know that's good for me, or attack speed's yellow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is clearer. And then there was one other thing I was going to mention. Oh, the tags.
Show Sanguine Lash. Sure.
Sanguine Lash is very confusing. This is the most confusing item in the game.
How is this not nerfed?
This is we were talking about this one specifically this morning. That like maybe this one is too confusing in this state.
You're welcome.
But I think all of us looked at this one and tried to make it less confusing, and this is where we ended up. Other than Sanguine Lash, though, I think every item is a clear improvement.
There was something about this that Pon just said, look for penetration.
Resurrect?
Yeah, that's a wrong tag. That's,
okay.
Some of the tags are wrong.
Maybe it's just a new effect for just not telling anybody else.
I was looking at that. I'm like, what did we change that I didn't know about?
Resurrect tag is supposed to be on Obsidian Dagger.
Right.
And it got put on its back.
Okay.
So there's a couple tags that are wrong. There's some things that we know that we're still working on.
Still work in progress, but it's coming along.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And
Obsidian Dagger.
The specific tags, you'll also see those in the
Fire Giant Dagger?
So it should be even easier to figure out like what items you want to build when you're playing.
So they kind of follow up with each other on that.
Yeah, in the quick play, it would just have like picture of the item, name the item, picture of the item, and then it'd be like intelligence, lifesteal, and then still give you the short description of the item.
Depends on what you're trying to go for, like Hunter or like one shot. Mercury has script builds.
Do I have anything else on that? No, that's most of it. And we are not going to also support the original descriptions. I see somebody asking that. This is, we think, just a pretty much overall improvement. So we are not going to support 2 different sets of descriptions. And
I'll come back out to cams for now.
last thing I just have a little bit of audio stuff from Kellen.
Sure.
So I'll just read through real quick. We've decreased the ultimate hit volume for Aladdin. We fixed an issue with the ultimate projectile being being too quiet for Vulcan. We fixed an issue with ability voiceover not playing for the Morrigan, and we have revised Titan death sounds.
Sweet.
And also quips were already boosted earlier on this week.
Yes,
if
and
people
quips should be
weren't aware.
louder.
So they should be louder. Yeah.
I think that's everything I got.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked for an hour. Sorry,
Yeah, we thought
an
we
hour,
were going to get
55
through
minutes
we got
already.
through more than usual.
Before
And
we get a
also,
proper Q&A.
as balance will be talked about on Friday, I believe. We didn't go through that on this show today.
Yeah, there is a.
Well, you've not
obviously
sent it me yet, so how can we do it?
Yeah,
Of course.
exactly.
Yeah, we're not even done finishing it.
Yeah, we will go through balance on Friday, and we'll talk through all that then. I think that's it. Just quick recap. So coming on Tuesday, we have Jormungandr with his new aspect and his Ascension Pass. We have the new item text, rewritten and formatted. We have the item tags. We have those tags in Pick 3. We have the Agni Infinite Duality Traveler, the Cerberus Infinite Overseer Traveler, and the Bologna Miss Senshi Traveler, which you get if you own any of the prisms for free. We've made some audio things I just talked about. We've made some changes to Conquest, pushing oracles and mid lanes buff camp spawns back by 30 seconds, allowing you to break Wolf Fury with basic attacks. Jungle monsters are now going to use their abilities earlier in their attack chains. And
all right, so starts are going to change for junglers, not anyone else. I don't think. Maybe mids will obviously be different after the first wave.
And we fixed.
I want to play Jorm.
We have in live right now. We have a fix for teleporting after you hitch.
No item changes, no regrowth nerf.
That is the summary for this patch.
Yeah, and that's not even including balance 2, which is coming on Friday. So,
okay, so they are still
over
going
2
to do
week
balance.
schedule.
But
Pretty good
why
so
not
far.
get a
I'm being
regrowth
honest
just
with
in
you.
on this patch?
We're still a bit early,
Regrowth
but
nerf.
what questions do we have in chat at the moment that people might want to try and get answered?
None. No questions.
No questions.